I will call to order the meeting of the Chautauqua County Legislature on August 26th of 2026. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Anthony.
Here.
Mr. Binkowski.
Here.
Mr. Buchanan.
Here.
Mr. DeJoy.
Here.
Mrs. Gustafson.
Here.
Mr. Harmon.
Here.
Mr. Heiser.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Larson.
Here.
Miss Lewis. Mr. Merritt is absent. Mr. Nelson.
Here.
Mr. Pavlock.
Here.
Mr. Penhollow.
Present.
Mr. Proctor.
Here.
Mr. Scudder. Miss Vanstrom.
Here.
Mr. Whitney.
Here.
Chairman Chagnon.
Here.
There are 18 members present and 1 member absent. There is quorum.
Thank you. And we'll now have the prayer and pledge of allegiance by Legislator Proctor.
Let's bow our heads. Lord, we gather tonight to conduct the business of our county and for all those within it. Let us always keep in our thoughts your wisdom and love. Give us insight and humility in all that we say and do. Allow us to open our hearts to learn from others and to respect the word and lives of all that we encounter. Give us the vision to pursue truth and integrity. Lord, keep safe all those who protect our freedoms, both home and abroad. Watch over those first responders who always sacrifice of themselves for our safety and our well-being. Comfort the sick and those who lack the resources or capacity to help themselves. We ask these things, O Lord, with minds open to your word and hearts that trust in your eternal care. Philippians 4:13 says that I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And that brings us on our agenda to approval of the minutes of our last legislature meeting on July 23rd. We have a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Legislator Gustafson, a second by Legislator Binkowski. Any discussion on the motion to approve? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They are approved. And now we have our first privilege of the floor. Members of the public may comment on any subject relating to any local law, resolution, or motion appearing on tonight's agenda. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes, and comments representing a group shall be limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone wishing to address the first privilege of the floor? Anyone? Anthony.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
I'd like to address...
Please introduce yourself for those who don't know you.
I thought everybody... Anthony Toda, 144 Clifton Avenue, Jamestown, New York.
Thank you.
I'm addressing local law 1226, which states local law requiring operators of motor vehicles to maintain a safe distance of 3 feet when overtaking non-motorists, and without alluding to my own personal experiences. From Jamestown and my observations, there needs to be some laws put in place with bicyclists and skateboarders. They do not know any, they're not aware of any of the laws, whether to be on the streets, what hours they have to be on the streets, where they should be on the streets, if they need to be on the streets, sidewalks, where they can skateboard, where they can bicyclist. There are obligations under the vehicle and traffic law to respond to vehicle laws when they're on the highway, especially a bicycle, if they're not on a designated road for bicycles. And I believe people need to start or to restart testing for license exams for especially bicyclists because they do not, most of them, and my observations in Jamestown, are not complying with the law. They are creating a terrible hazard for motorists and themselves by crossing the streets right in front of people, right? People are driving not on the right side of the road, running red lights, and most importantly at night, wearing non-reflective gear and non-reflective equipment, including their bicycles. So am a firm believer that New York State or even Chautauqua County should require licensing for bicyclists. That would be a good start. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Jim Quattrone, Chautauqua County Sheriff. So much of what Anthony just mentioned, I have to agree with you, Tony. I know that comes as a shock, but I do wish we could enforce the laws better. I can't disagree. I listened to the public safety meeting from last week, and a couple of questions was, do we understand what the laws are? I can give you a little bit of confidence in saying law enforcement has been instructed on what the laws are for the bikes. They have to follow all the New York State vehicle and traffic laws, as Tony mentioned. Our e-bikes, just so you know, you have to be 16 or older to operate the e-bikes. You have to follow the rules. 18 and under, 18 to 16, they have to wear helmets. And that goes with the scooters as well. So anybody that under 16 operating them, their parents should be getting in trouble. I wish we could legislate morality, but that's never going to work, or legislate common sense, and that's not going to work either. And so with the local law 1226, I do have some concerns on the enforceability of that. I support trying to keep our bicyclists safe. It's been a few years since I've been out on my bicycle, and I'm looking at Mr. Nelson because I used to kind of make fun of the bicyclists as they wore their bright colored clothing, and that's, I think, critical for us when you're out riding a bike to have them on. But it's difficult to measure that 3 feet, and I want to make sure we're going to be able to enforce it. And if this law passes tonight, that we do, as a county, do a good job of advertising and making sure the public understands what the law is. Now, I can tell you, in the last couple of months, we've put out several notices on the e-bikes, and it didn't sound like the Public Safety Committee had seen any of those notices as I watched the video from that. So we have been putting that out there. It's difficult to enforce. There was one case in Jamestown where they had a pursuit with a juvenile. The parents were arrested, but that's very dangerous, chasing and pursuing any type of motorized vehicle, and that's technically what those e-bikes are. So I just want us to really take into consideration and continue to examine the law and make sure that it's going to be an effective law out there for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for the first privilege of the floor? Anyone else? Seeing no one, I will close the first privilege of the floor. And I will now invite the county executive and legislator Proctor to come down front and present a proclamation declaring the month of September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month.
Also, we can have Mike and Andrea LeBaron come on down, please. And others here this evening. Yeah.
From the Office of the County Executive, Chautauqua County, New York. Whereas childhood cancer is the leading cause of death by disease for children in the United States, and whereas in the United States, 47 children per day, or 17,293 children per year, are diagnosed with cancer, 1 in 285 children will be diagnosed by their 20th birthday, and whereas the average age of diagnosis is only 6 years old, and whereas in the United States, 80% of childhood cancer patients are diagnosed late and with metastatic disease. And whereas on average, there's been a 0.8% increase in incidence per year since the mid-1970s. And whereas over the last 30 years, only 6 new drugs have been developed to specifically treat childhood cancer. And whereas depending on the type of cancer, pediatric cancer treatments can take several months or even years, taking an enormous toll on children as well as creating emotional and financial hardships for families trying to do the best they can to support their children's battles.
And whereas hundreds of nonprofit organizations at the local, state, and national level, including Callie's Crusade, are helping children with cancer and their families cope through educational, emotional, and financial support. And whereas the researchers and healthcare professionals work diligently, dedicating their expertise to treat and cure children with cancer. And whereas too many children are affected by this deadly disease, and more must be done to raise awareness, further research and treatment, and find a cure. Now therefore, we, Paul M. Wendell Jr., Chautauqua County Executive, and Martin J. Proctor, Legislator, District 18, do hereby proclaim the month of September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in Chautauqua County, and we urge all residents and community organizations to come together to raise awareness about pediatric cancer, honor the courageous children who continue their fight with cancer, remember those who are taking from us much too young, and support the initiatives to help us find better treatments and end cancer. In witness whereof we have hereto set our hands and caused the seal of the great county of Chautauqua to be affixed this day, 26th of August, 2026, signed myself and Marty. So on behalf of myself and all of the entire legislature in Chautauqua County, we thank you all for your courageous battle. I'm going to turn it over to Mike LeBaron, the father of Nolan, correct, who is a cancer survivor and fortunately is in college tonight. So thank you, Mike. And
thank you, PJ.
the microphone is yours. And I'm sorry I forget
Andrea.
Melissa and Lucas. So again, Lucas is a survivor as well, and we'll each give them a chance at the microphone.
Last year I shot from the hip. This year I have prepared things. September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, and the color is gold for the kids. And I want to thank each and every one of you tonight, the legislatures, for proclaiming this September Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month. It is important. The time between our son's leukemia diagnosis and ringing the victory bell at Roswell Park was 29 months. That is 870 never-ending days. But we are very thankful for those days because too many kids don't get to ring that bell. There are several children and adolescents in Chautauqua County experiencing the horror of childhood cancer tonight, right now, while we are here. One challenge of treatment is isolation and loneliness, seeing the world go by without you. Not because people are heartless, but because the child is quarantined for months at a time. Their immunity is near zero. The child can't have visitors, go to the playground, play Little League baseball, go to school, or go to Grandma and Grandpa's house. But word of tonight's proclamation will reach those families, and it will give them a measure of comfort that the people in this chamber tonight have not forgotten them. That is so very important to these families. Andrea and I, we have felt it. Also, this is my annual plea to donate blood. That is the Pediatric Cancer's Lifeline. Or if you have an hour to spare while in Buffalo, consider an appointment at Roswell Park to donate platelets, another lifeline for pediatric cancer patients. Thirdly, if you're 18 to 40 years old, consider joining the National Bone Marrow Registry. If you're over 40, you're overqualified. A 2017 Faulkner graduate joined the registry in 2018. Last month, she got the call. She was the match and has given a shining gold light of hope to an anonymous family facing darkness. Yet you never know how strong you are until strength is your only choice. September is near. Go gold for the kids. Thank you very much.
Please, yeah.
We'll trade places with you.
Not nearly as good as we are. So I just want to say thank you.
for recognizing September's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. This is something very personal to me and my family. 17 years ago, I became a mom to my only child, Lucas. Like every parent, I had all these ideas of what childhood would look like and what our life would be together. Cancer was not a part of that picture. When Lucas was 3 years old, I sat in a doctor's office and heard the words, "Your son has cancer." I don't think there's any way to explain what those words do to a parent. We walked out of that office with a completely different life. Suddenly I was learning about things I never wanted to know: chemotherapy, radiation, hospital stays, doctors, appointments, scans, and waiting rooms. And wherever Lucas was, I was there. If he was in a hospital bed, I was right next to him. If he was at home on his own, I was there. In the car, I was always in the seat next to him. For a long time, that was simply what our life looked like. Wherever he went, I went. Whatever he faced, we faced together. His childhood wasn't the childhood I had planned for him, and motherhood wasn't the way I had pictured it either, but that was our life. And even though some of the hardest days, there were some good ones. We were able to experience Make-A-Wish, travel to Florida, and make memories that we still carry with us. Cancer will always be a part of our story. I used to wish more than anything that it wasn't, but looking back, I can see that everything we went through helped shape both of us to who we are today. And somehow that little 3-year-old boy is now turning 17 in September. Being Lucas's mom is the thing I am most proud of in this world. My life has always been built around him. And after everything we went through, every birthday, milestone, and even the ordinary everyday moments mean a little more. September being Childhood Cancer Awareness Month isn't just about wearing gold. It's about remembering that somewhere another parent is sitting in a doctor's office hearing the same words I heard all those years ago. It's about the children still fighting. It's about celebrating survivors like Lucas. And it's about remembering the children who should still be here celebrating birthdays of their own. So from one childhood cancer mom, thank you for recognizing September and helping bringing awareness to something that changed our lives forever. And most of all, thank you for recognizing the children and families behind the gold ribbon.
Thanks, Marty.
Sir, thank you. Okay, Olivia, take us away.
All right. There are no veto messages from County Executive Wendell from the July 22nd, 2026 legislature meeting. There are 7 communications listed on the agenda. If you'd like a copy of any of these, please let our office know. Local Law Introductory 12-26. A local law requiring operators of motor vehicles to maintain a safe distance of 3 feet when overtaking non-motorists.
Are there any comments, any questions or discussion on local law introductory 12-26? Legislator Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We often talk about making Chautauqua County a healthier, more attractive place to live. Well, that includes encouraging outdoor recreation and making our communities more accessible to people who choose to walk or ride a bicycle. But we cannot encourage people to use our roads for recreation and transportation while ignoring the safety risks they face. As a county legislator, I believe one of our most basic responsibility is protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the people we represent. I believe that this law is a modest, common sense measure that can help accomplish that goal. Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments? Legislator Johnson.
Yes, sir, thank you. I was not in the committee, so now I'm spooling up on it. And I think I'm going to vote no. And much as I agree with Legislator Nelson in terms of the desire for safety, there's a bigger issue out here, which the sheriff brought up, which is police discretion. And behind that issue, there's another thing called prosecutorial discretion. And when we throw more and more of the decision as to whether to prosecute somebody out of the courtroom and into the police force or into the prosecutors, the less respected law gets. So you know, the road to perdition is paved with the bricks of good intentions, and I admire the good intentions here, but I think the overall consequences, negative consequences, outweigh the positive intention.
Thank you. Other comments? Other questions? Any other discussion? Legislator Bankowski.
Yes, I think just my feelings is I think whatever we can do to make the roads safer, we can never have enough safety mechanisms in place, whatever they are, a 3-foot lane or another flashing light or something we put on a bike or whatever, just to make awareness of of people riding a bike or walking along the side of the road or another light or whatever. If we have the power here in this room to try to make whatever possibility we can do to you know, pass a law to save a life or maybe not save a life or whatever, we have that power to do that, it doesn't cost us nothing. So let's do it, period. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Anthony.
Yes.
Mr. Bankowski.
Absolutely.
Mr. Buchanan. Mr. DeJoy.
Yes.
Mrs. Gustafson.
Yes.
Mr. Harmon.
Yes.
Mr. Heiser.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Sadly, no.
Mr. Larson.
Yes.
Miss Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Merritt is absent. Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
Mr. Pavlak.
Yes.
Mr. Penhollow.
Yes.
Mr. Proctor.
Yes.
Mr. Scudder.
Yes.
Miss Vanstrom.
Yes.
Mr. Whitney.
Yes.
Chairman Shagnon.
Yes.
Okay, there are 17 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 1 member absent. The local law is adopted. Okay, resolutions. 203-26, authorizing New York State Department of Transportation undertakings.
Are there any questions or comments on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
204-26, amend Chautauqua County Department of Mental Hygiene 2026 adopted budget for court-ordered forensic evaluations for competency and court-ordered forensic hospitalizations.
Are there any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
1 nay. Legislator Johnson. The resolution is adopted.
(205-26), authorize agreement with Sheridan Fire District to utilize space for fly car M71 and paramedic.
Any comments, any questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
206-25, authorize fire service loan to Bemis Point Fire Department.
Any comments, any discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
207-26, amend 2026 budget for Office of the Sheriff.
Any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
208-26, amend the 2026 budget for the Public Defender's Office.
Any questions, any discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
209-26, authorize acceptance of the Gun-Involved Violence Elimination GIVE grant funds for 2026 through 2027.
Are there any questions or discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
210-26, authorizing public hearing regarding a potential application for 2026 Community Development Block Grant funding through the New York State Office of Community Renewal.
Are Are there any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
211-26, accept grant funding from the Housing Trust Fund Corporation for a technical assistance to grow pro-housing communities grant.
Any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
212-26, approves SEQRA review of 2% in-lake occupancy tax grant program projects for 2027.
Any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
213-26, approves SEQRA review of 2% watershed occupancy tax grant program projects for 2027.
Any comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
214-26, authorize Chautauqua County Visitors Bureau as the local tourist promotion agency for matching funds program, sponsored by the New York State Division of Tourism.
Any questions or discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
215-26, authorize execution of lease agreement with the Town of Chautauqua for office space.
Any comments, discussion on the resolution? Legislator Whitney.
Yeah, I'd like to commend Ned Perone and his team for going out and finding office space for $10 a square foot when the going rate's $23.50. We are renting from the town. It's a win-win for the town. It's a 10-year lease without increase. And the only downfall renting from the town is there's no campaign finance benefit, but other than that, I think it's a great thing.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions on the resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
One nay. Legislator Johnson. The resolution is carried.
216-26, transfer of foreclosed properties to Chautauqua County Land Bank Corporation.
Any comments or questions on the resolution? Legislator Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's just a technical matter on the next three resolutions. It's occurred to me this year on these kind of resolutions that sometimes they give us the section, block, and lot tax identification of the property, but never an address. And I believe this resolution doesn't even give us that. So I'm going to vote for these, but I don't think any of us in here tonight know where these properties actually are. So I know that legally our Office of Real Property would always go on the section, block, and lot identifier of these properties, but our own records indicate that it's on Brigham Road or Cole Avenue in Jamestown or whatever. It would be very helpful to legislators to have an idea of where all these properties are. So I would make a request that if you as chairman would pass on that could they please in the future on all these tax sale properties at least let us know what street or road they're on. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions on the resolution? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Anthony.
Yes.
Mr. Bankowski.
Yes.
Mr. Buchanan.
Yes.
Mr. DeJoy.
Yes.
Mrs. Gustafson.
Yes.
Mr. Harmon.
Yes.
Mr. Heiser.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Larson.
Yes.
Miss Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Merritt is absent. Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
Mr. Pavlak.
Yes.
Mr. Penhollow. Mr. Proctor.
Yes.
Mr. Scudder.
Yes.
Miss Vanstrom.
Yes.
Mr. Whitney.
Yes.
Chairman Shagnon.
Yes.
There are 18 yes votes and 1 member absent. The resolution is adopted. 217-26, authorized transfer of tax foreclosure property to the Village of Mayville.
Are there any questions, any discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Anthony,
Yes.
Mr. Benkowski,
Yes.
Mr. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. DeJoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Gustafson,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon, Mr. Heiser,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Larson,
Yes.
Miss Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Merritt is absent, Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Pavlock, Mr. Penhallow,
Yes.
Mr. Proctor,
Yes.
Mr. Scudder,
Yes.
Miss Vanstrom,
Yes.
Mr. Whitney,
Yes.
Chairman Shagnon.
Yes.
There are 18 yes votes and 1 member absent. The resolution is adopted. 218-26, authorized transfer of tax foreclosure property to CHQ Transit.
Are there any comments or any questions on the resolution? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Anthony,
Yes.
Mr. Benkowski,
Yes.
Mr. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. DeJoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Gustafson,
Yes.
Mr. Harmon,
Yes.
Mr. Heiser,
Yes.
Mr. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Larson,
Yes.
Miss Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Merritt is absent, Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Pavlock,
Yes.
Mr. Penhallow,
Yes.
Mr. Proctor,
Yes.
Mr. Scudder,
Yes.
Miss Vanstrom,
Yes.
Mr. Whitney,
Yes.
Chairman Shagnon.
Yes.
There are 18 yes votes and 1 member absent. The resolution is adopted. 2027 $2 million property tax levy cut.
Any questions or comments on the resolution? Legislator Larson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Although the legislature has slightly amended our charter this year, the charter still suggests that the legislature provide by resolution goals and objectives for the upcoming budget and provide them to the county executive prior to his submitting a tentative budget for 2027 next month. I believe this is the only budget policy resolution that the legislature will have an opportunity to express its view since this is our August meeting and since next month the executive under the charter is to present us with his tentative budget for 2027. Sadly, 2026 is turning out to be an unhappy year for our residents. Gasoline at $4.35 a gallon compared to $3.19 back in early February in my community anyway. For the average motorist in Chautauqua County, this is at least an added $600 in gasoline this year. That's a lot of money for most of our residents. We all are facing inflation near 4%, way above the Federal Reserve Board's long-standing target of 2%. And I like shopping at the grocery store, but I was very disappointed this last month to see that basic ground beef for your hamburgers on your own grill can be $8 a pound. Makes you appreciate some of the chain restaurants that provide you with a burger for less than doing it yourself at home, I think. So it is an unhappy financial situation for our residents. I was pleased to see Legislator Johnson make front page news, I think in both newspapers, this last week, acknowledging that our unappropriated or unobligated fund balance, sometimes described as a slush fund, sometimes described as a rainy day fund, that he acknowledged that this fund greater than $30 million is excessive, doesn't need to be that big. I was pleased to read that. So, to give this legislature its one and only chance this year to express its desire for something to be included in the county executive's tentative budget to be presented to us at next month's meeting, I have offered this resolution. And some will say, oh, we've argued about this for 3-4 years. That is correct. However, the outcome so far of the prior 3 years was not in favor of the taxpayers. I'm hoping tonight it will be different. For those that still want to argue about how big a fund balance is necessary, prudent, whatever, I point to 2 prior Republican county executives. County Executive Greg Edwards, as of the end of December of 2008, in his time, had a fund balance of $13.5 million. County Executive Horrigan, before the sale of the county home in 2014, County Executive Horrigan's fund balance at the end of December 2013 was $12.6 million. I ran the Consumer Price Index calculator on that today. That $12.6 million would be only $18 million today, nothing close to $31.5 million, which we happen to be at this week. So historically, there's been no catastrophe, including 9/11, which cost the state of New York billions and billions of revenue, the destruction of Wall Street, nor the financial crisis in America, the worst since the Great Depression in 2008-09. None of those recent catastrophes exhausted the fund balance of that era. And so anyone that seriously wants to argue that we need 31, 32, 33, 34, $35 million lying around just in case somebody in Washington decides to eliminate all of the federal aid to our county operations, they have a tough argument to make. 2 million is a very small percentage, obviously, of the 31.5 million we have this very week. So this time, this doesn't mean that the executive is going to follow this if we get 10 votes or more tonight. But if you want to encourage him to try to reduce the tax levy instead of increasing it, the last number of years, the tax levy went up 1.8 million one year, 1.7 million the next. It's very close to $2 million annual increases. This is a time when the hard-pressed residents of Chautauqua County, it's better they have the $2 million and earn some interest at M&T Bank instead of the county, as Legislator Johnson observed, has an excessive amount of money earning interest. Let's have the residents of Chautauqua County earn a little interest on a $2 million tax break. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Other comments, questions on the resolution? Legislator Scudder.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to go on record to say I'll be voting against this resolution tonight. I do look at this not truly as a resolution, but more of a motion, and I think everyone knows how I feel about the motion part of it. But that being set aside, I will be voting against it. Actually, I'm reluctant to limit the cut to $2 million. I think there's more out there. I feel we can reduce the tax levy by more than $2 million for 2027. How we do that needs to be discussed, needs to go through committees, and we should adopt that through our budget process that we go through every year. So I'd like to see us work together as a legislature, and hopefully we can accomplish this. Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments? Legislator Johnson.
Yes, sir, thank you. I'm with Mr. Scudder, but perhaps more aggressive. As you may have noticed, I voted no on a couple of the resolutions, and I even voted no on the three, regrettingly on the 3-foot rule. What I've come to really look at is long-term consequences of things and systemic consequences. So the reason I voted no on those two resolutions was not because the departments were remiss is not because the departments didn't need some money, but because we, as we sat in the committee and listened to this, there was no visible effort to see how we could offset that at the level of all of county government before going to the taxpayers' fund. As a fundamental principle, I believe the fund belongs to the taxpayers. They put it in there, it's a prepaid. So that's thing number one. Number two, I believe it should be a rainy day fund, not a flex fund, a cushion, a slush fund. It's a rainy day fund. And I cannot imagine, but I really agree with Mr. Scudder, it needs to be analyzed and dug into. I can personally not imagine an in-budget problem that gets to $10 or $15 million or $15 million. I'm subject to correction, but it needs analysis. And remember, if we return, and then my number is 10 or 15 million, not 2, if we return that amount of money, we're earning 4% on that money that belongs to the stockpayers, to the taxpayers. The taxpayer, most of them have credit card balances. That interest rate is 20% and up. Much better, just on cold-blooded financials, much better return. So, again, I'm not throwing any stones at county government. Everybody I've met in the last 3 years works hard, is smart, and is dedicated to their job. But I disagree fundamentally with the process. So I will vote against use, as long as we don't look at the entirety of county government. I will vote against use of the fund. And if the budget comes up to use the fund as a cushion, I will vote against that too.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions, discussion? Legislator Larson.
Legislator Scudder has critiqued one or two of my other pieces of legislation over the years as, oh, they're really motions. With all due respect, being a county legislator the first time 40 years ago and being the county attorney 8 years, I know the difference between a resolution and a motion. A motion is something we have absolutely no power over. Legislator Scudder's challenge here is our own charter says that this legislature, on at least an annual basis, shall adopt by resolution goals and objectives which shall be utilized in the formation of the budget. So the charter calls for a resolution. I've given you the one and only budget policy resolution this body has even considered heading into the next year. And I think the charter is correct here in using resolution, because believe it or not, even if the executive is of your own party, there's a reason that next month we will get a big thick book titled Tentative Budget. This legislature has the final authority on how much the budget's going to be for next year, how much the property tax is going to be, whether we play games with the budget, saying we're going to have $1 million program but don't put any money in the budget to fund it. That all rests with this body. The county executive does not deliver to us a budget. He delivers to us a tentative budget. So when the charter says we are to, and we now may, pass a resolution prior to the budget with our policies, goals, that's what we're supposed to do. So this is not a motion. This is not an expression of opinion that has no force of law, because ultimately we can pass a budget in October with a $2 million property tax cut. The executive could veto it, but that probably would be a bad news item. So the power is ours as to what the county property tax levy ultimately is. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Other comments? Other questions on the resolution? Legislator Gustafson.
Yes, I just want to say I also will be voting no for this, and for the pure fact, same as Mr. Scudder, I do think that this legislature can do better than $2 million. I think it's something that we can collaboratively discuss and maybe come up with something better than 2 million, but I also think we can do better.
Thank you. Legislator Vanstrom.
Good evening. Thank you, Chairman. I just want to say I know and I'm enthused to know that our county executive is working very, very hard on our upcoming budget, and I can't wait for it to be unveiled, and I look forward to budget week. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Whitney.
Yeah, I'd like to amend it to 3 million, and maybe we can get more people on board.
So you proposing a motion to amend the resolution
To 3 million.
to change the dollar amount from $2 million to $3 million?
Maybe we can get more people on board then.
Do you have a second to your motion?
Probably not.
Is there a second? Is there a second to the motion? Legislator Larson.
I accept it as a friendly amendment, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so you are seconding the motion?
Sure.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to amend the resolution. Discussion on the motion to amend Resolution 219-26. Legislator Scudder.
Yeah, I will be voting no on the 3 million also. I believe this has to go through the process that we've done every year, at least the 17 years that I've almost been here. I think this is my 17th budget. Just throwing a number out there. I understand it, and it's a good start, but maybe it's just a start. I still think we can do better than that, so I will be voting no against that.
Other comments on the motion to amend? Legislator Johnson.
I appreciate the effort, but I too will vote against. I'm looking for a systemic change and a serious change, not a one-off advice, and that's where I stand.
Thank you. Other comments? Legislator Larson.
With all due respect to my fellow Fred, there's not going to be any systematic change between now and September or October when we have to vote on a budget for 2027. This is our one and only opportunity to put a stake in the ground and say, this is what we stand for on behalf of the taxpayers. Systematic review of all the county government might not happen in either Fred's lifetime. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Other comments, questions on the motion to amend? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the motion to amend Resolution 219-26?
Mr. Anthony.
No.
Mr. Binkowski.
No.
Mr. Buchanan.
No.
Mr. DeJoy.
Yes.
Mrs. Gustafson.
No.
Mr. Harmon.
No.
Mr. Heiser.
No.
Mr. Johnson.
No.
Mr. Larson.
Yes.
Ms. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Merritt is absent. Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
Mr. Pavlak.
No.
Mr. Penhallow.
Reluctantly, yes.
Mr. Proctor.
No.
Mr. Scudder.
No.
Ms. Vanstrom.
No.
Mr. Whitney.
Yes.
Chairman Shagnon.
No.
All right, there are 6 yes votes, 12 no votes, and 1 member absent. The motion to amend fails.
Okay, so we're back on Resolution 219-26 as presented. Any further discussion on the resolution? Legislator DeJoy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think Legislator Larson has established that this is not indeed a motion, but a resolution. We've heard from Legislator Gustafson that she thinks it should be more. We've heard from Mr. Johnson that he thinks it should be more. Well, here's the challenge. How much more? And are you willing to put it in a resolution? Because this is a goal, and if it's established in the charter as a resolution, as a goal for the budget, what is that number then? Are you willing to provide some type of assurance to our taxpayers that there will be some tax levy relief? Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments? Legislator Binkowski.
Yes, I'm just very excited right now because I have been the guy who sat in this chair for the last 3 years, have been proposing this $2 million, and I've been voted down 5 times. Not only each year for the budget, I've had my Affordability Act that I've proposed for $2 million, and it got voted down. And I'm just gonna guess today that my friend Mr. Larson's thing's gonna get voted down, but I'm gonna vote in favor of that. But I'm just excited because we're looking at more than $2 million. I just love that I have people across the aisle that says, Bob, I like what you've been saying, and I'm getting on board with you, and we're gonna take more than $2 million. So I'm excited. Let's rock it. I'm loving it.
Thank you.
Yes.
You are excited.
Yes, I am excited. I'm excited.
Okay, other comments?
Tom Harmon, he got on board with me today. We talked on the radio.
I just
He's on
agree
board.
with you.
I love it.
I agree with you in principle, sir. That's what I did.
Other comments, questions, discussion on the resolution as presented? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Anthony,
No.
Mr. Bankowski,
Yes.
Mr. Buchanan,
Yes.
Mr. DeJoy,
Yes.
Mrs. Gustafson,
No.
Mr. Harmon,
No.
Mr. Heiser,
No.
Mr. Johnson,
No.
Mr. Larson,
Yes.
Ms. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Merritt is absent, Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. Pavlik,
No.
Mr. Penhollow,
Yes.
Mr. Proctor,
No.
Mr. Scudder,
No.
Ms. Vanstrom,
No.
Mr. Whitney,
Yes.
Chairman Shagnon.
No.
There are 8 yes votes, 10 no votes, and 1 member absent. The resolution fails.
Okay, that brings us on our agenda to announcements. Are there any announcements for the good of the order that aren't so exciting? But Legislator Penhollow.
Perhaps I have one here. Stockton Volunteer Fire Department, because of COVID-19 and how it exasperated and destroyed many things in our own personal lives, Stockton Volunteer Fire Department was celebrating a 100-year anniversary at that time. They will be celebrating 100 years, the 105th this weekend, and it is my understanding there's plenty of fun, happy, and appreciative activities that are taking place Friday and Saturday, and it is my understanding that there will be a christening of a new fire truck for the volunteer fire department, and it is also my understanding that there will be a federal accommodation for the volunteer fire department. As well, Cassadaga Labor Day Festival, Labor Day weekend, many activities. Get on the Facebook page. Enjoyable time. Hope to see a few of you there. Thank you.
That is exciting. You were right.
It is.
Other announcements, Legislator Gustafson.
Yes, just as exciting, if not more, is the Great Midsummer. It's been delayed from midsummer to now late summer. Fly-in, drive-in at the Chautauqua County Airport, Jamestown. This Saturday from 10 to 2, there will be rides on Whiskey 7 and the chicken barbecue, burgers, hot dogs, and all proceeds benefit the Alan D. Fuller Memorial Flying Scholarship. So we hope to see you all out at the Jamestown Airport this Saturday from 10 to 2.
Good. Legislator Lewis.
Yes, I would like to announce the bicentennial celebration of SUNY Fredonia to be held on September 18th at 2 p.m. We have an exciting speaker, and in addition to the other programs that will be going on in the month of September there. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Bankowski.
Yes, Chairman, on behalf of myself, Legislator Scudder, and Legislator Lewis, we'd like to recognize Tony Faso, who's been a long time volunteer of the Chautauqua County Fire Service. He was the 1st Battalion Coordinator from 2006 to 2022, and he's been the Deputy Coordinator of the North District for the 1st and 2nd Battalions from 2022 to 2026. And he's retiring officially this Saturday from the county. And he's going to be spending his winters in Florida, but also be coming back home, living in Fredonia with his daughter during the summertime. But there's a little retirement party for him this Saturday, and he's going to be receiving some awards and stuff. But we just wanted to recognize him here tonight on the floor for his long-time service to the county.
Thank you. Legislator Nelson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to point out that the 45th Annual Jamestown Labor Day Festival will be Sunday, September 6th at Bergman Park in Jamestown, and it starts at 12 noon, and it concludes with fireworks at 8:30 p.m. So hope to see all of you there.
Thank you. Legislator Harmon.
I'd like to announce Thursday, September 17th through Sunday, September 20th is the original Grape Festival in Silver Creek, New York. I know we'll have a meeting prior to that, but I want to just invite everybody to come down because it's a great time in Silver Creek. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And, Legislator Proctor.
I have two things. Labor Day weekend, Finley Lake is having its Harvest Festival, so everybody come out and enjoy music and food and vendors and such. That will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the second thing, I just want to remind everyone that schools will be going back into session shortly, and brush up on your school bus etiquette laws to make sure, especially in the city where the kids walk to school, make sure you keep those kids safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Johnson.
Not to be outdone, Westfield on the weekend of the 18th and 19th of September celebrates the Concord Grape Festival as the grape juice capital of the world, which we are. So farmers markets, rides, grape stomping contest. I have a conflict of interest. I'm personally providing over a ton of grapes to be stomped, so I'm looking for stompees, and it'll be great fun. Last year was really a memory maker.
Great. Any other announcements? It's a busy month. Legislator Anthony.
While we're on the topic of events, the town of Poland is having their summer social Saturday, August 29th. So after you get done at the airport, might as well come over to Poland and celebrate with us.
Okay. Any other announcements? Hard to imagine. Sheriff Quattrone.
Let everybody know that on Labor Day weekend, the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office will offer free rides to any intoxicated driver.
How appropriate. Okay, any other announcements? Busy month. Oh, Legislator Larson.
Legislator Nelson commenting on how long ago the Labor Day Festival in the park in Jamestown, Bergman Park, started. The circumstances then were similar to today. Upheaval in the Middle East had caused gasoline to skyrocket, and the real origins of Labor Day in the park was to give people a chance to have a enjoyable Labor Day weekend without traveling anywhere to do it. So it sounds like it's an appropriate year to be remembering what the origins were of that event, and it's been a very successful event ever since, and I'm sure it's met its goal of having local people have a good time without having to travel for a good time that weekend.
Okay, any other announcements? Hearing none, we will move to our second privilege of the floor. Members of the public may comment on any subject. A member of the legislature may speak on any subject. Individual comments are limited to 3 minutes, and comments representing a group shall be limited to 5 minutes. Is there anyone wishing to address the second privilege of the floor? Legislator DeJoy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And keeping in line with the subject of grapes, festivals in Silver Creek and Westfield, I was happy to see the front page of the Dunkirk Observer. Officials hail USDA $20 million purchase of grape juice. I think that the farmers and growers of grapes here in Chautauqua County along Lake Erie. Owe a huge debt of gratitude to the senior senator from New York and Minority Leader Charles Schumer. Senator Schumer came to Chautauqua County and stood with the grape farmers, including legislator Johnson and Merritt. And I saw a nice picture with them with the senator and shaking his hand and smiling very large. And I think that it was a great thing that the government was able to intervene where some of the markets closed out purchasing of grapes from our local farmers and alleviated, at least for this year, a devastation, financial devastation to these growers. So I think that we owe, again, Senator Schumer a debt of gratitude for coming through for the grape farmers of Chautauqua County. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Next, for the second privilege of the floor.
Karen Engstrom, Town of Chautauqua, and I represent the Chautauqua Energy Watch. I'm asking tonight, what is the electricity generation mix in the state of New York? According to the New York Independent System Operator, electricity production in the state of New York is 4% from wind, industrial wind, and less than 3% from solar. The total cost so far is somewhere between $55 billion and $79 billion, paid for largely through our taxes and our utility bills. So that's 4% wind and 3% solar. In spite of that poor cost-benefit outcome, the state is still aggressively pressuring our communities in conjunction with wind and solar to allow battery energy storage systems installed regardless of the evidence that battery storage is dangerous, short-lived, and expensive. This month, the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority, the NYSERDA, held a seminar in our county promoting battery energy storage systems. It was aimed at municipal leaders, zoning officials, and volunteer fire departments. Representatives from NYSERDA Clean Energy Siting Group offered claims and half-truths during this seminar regarding our energy options, beginning with claiming that wind, solar, and BESS are clean. Wind, solar, and battery energy storage are not clean or green. The mining, processing, delivering, installing, operation, and disposal as hazardous waste may have grave impacts on our environment and quality of life. NYSERDA introduced itself at the seminar saying, quote, "We are free consultants who work to incentivize wind, solar, and battery energy storage. The proposed Dunkirk battery energy storage system, a very heavily subsidized $500 million estimate, will produce few jobs. As was pointed out in this body, the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency works with these groups, these so-called renewable projects, and receives a 1% fee for that. $500 million equates to a $5 million fee. If the formula works, then that is something we must be aware of. The proposed Dunkirk BESS price tag is very large and is yet to be determined. There are many towns in New York that have written laws prohibiting battery energy storage due to the history of thermal runaway fires. Those include Sheridan, Dwaynesburg, Yorktown, Clifton, Mount Pleasant, Rush, St. Armand, Mount Cisco, Amsterdam, and numerous others. NYSERDA reps said at this seminar that the demand for electricity will increase by 50% in the near future in the state of New York. But that is not because of residential use. Residential use is flat. They say that we need more power to power data centers and AI. Many residents of Chautauqua County and the region are opposed to data centers. data center opposition cites the huge use of water, the potential for that water to be contaminated, heat islands, noise, and lack of regulation. Concerns that have been expressed by our attorneys general around the country also include the personal internet privacy violations, including the potential for violation of constitutional rights through the access that this will allow to medical records, employment records, business records, and private communications. Many Western towns also recognize that the installation of industrial wind, utility-scale solar, and battery energy storage systems are not beneficial, and that there is no justification for attaching battery energy storage to them. Clean alternatives have been put forward by local leaders such as State Senator George Borrello, Assemblyman Andrew Molitor, and Chautauqua County Executive Paul Wendell. I'd like to quote Mr. Wendell, quote, "By repowering NRG with safe, advanced nuclear technology, we can bring this critical asset, that's NRG in Dunkirk, back online to serve New York's clean energy transition, create high-paying jobs, and revitalize a community that has long waited for meaningful economic reinvestment."
Karen, you've exceeded your 5 minutes.
There is one simple requirement that we could possibly use, and that is to protect our communities by prohibiting the inclusion of PFAS or PFOS, forever chemicals, in any wind, solar, battery energy storage, or data center components. By doing so, you
Karen,
would
please wrap
protect
it up.
our water, our drinking water. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the second privilege of the floor?
Chairman.
Legislator Buchanan.
Okay, all right. So I just wanted to touch on the e-bikes. I am an e-biker. Okay, let's get that straight up. So the thing, I'm all about public safety, but I do want folks to understand we only have like 5 good months in our up north in New York to even enjoy any fun. So kind of take it easy with the e-bikes, okay? I know there's a lot of anti-e-bikers around, so. But I want to touch on the weed dispensers. Am I the only one in this room a little concerned about weed dispensers in Chautauqua County? I feel that all of us should understand the laws with them. I see next to Tim Hortons, they have a weed dispenser set up out in the parking lot. I'm not sure if the sheriff could touch on that. Can they just set up shop anywhere they want to? I looked into the law. They have to be 500 feet away from a school, on the same road of a school. It's just concerning kids can get out of a school and walk right past a weed dispenser. I feel uncomfortable with that. I know we can't trump New York State law, but can we do anything? Can we put together a letter to New York State, maybe adjust the footage that a weed dispenser can be next to a school? I really feel uncomfortable about this. So I'm not sure if anyone else in this room feel uncomfortable with me about weed dispensers set up so close to any type of school. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, for the second privilege of the floor.
Good evening. My name is Mike Lee. I'm a resident of the village of Fredonia and a councilman for the town of Pomfret. I'm also going to refer to my notes because firing from the hip is not my specialty either. Flock cameras are a nationwide surveillance program with no oversight, accountability, or justification. These cameras are a dragnet mass surveillance tool that Flock and law enforcement can use to constantly track people in our community without a warrant, without suspicion of criminal activity, and without any accountability. It flies in the face of our values as Americans, and it's in direct opposition to the Fourth Amendment, which protects us from unreasonable search and seizure. This is not the same as municipally controlled CCTV cameras. There are times and places where law enforcement and others need to monitor parts of the community and municipal buildings for safety, public safety. Cameras controlled and operated by local government lets us know who has access to camera footage and lets us know that there are safeguards in place. We as a community can make change if that goes too far, if there are abuses, or if there's loss of public trust. This is not the case with Flock. There have already been police officers who have been discovered using Flock to stalk ex-girlfriends and others. We know about these abuses because law enforcement officers are public employees with checks, balances, and oversights in place. Flock is a private company that does not have checks, balances, or oversights in place. We do not know who at Flock has access to your video and tracking data. We do not know who they are selling it to. We do not have oversights or protections against abuses by Flock employees or whomever Flock sells video of you to. Many communities across the country have canceled their contracts with Flock after learning that Flock lied to them about data use, their surveillance system capabilities, and so much more. People have ended up at gunpoint by police over mistakes Flock had made, which puts our community and our law enforcement officers at risk. Flock claims that their camera surveillance systems do not have facial recognition capabilities and cannot track individuals. Journalists have proven this multiple times to be a lie. When municipalities have voted to cancel their contract with Flock after issues have become apparent, Flock has refused to disable their systems, leading municipalities to cover the cameras with garbage bags or other makeshift coverings. Flock surveillance is not a benefit to our community, it is a threat to public safety. The county district attorney has contracted with Flock to place 10 different Flock surveillance cameras in the Fredonia-Dunkirk community and states that he plans to install as many as he can afford with his department's budget. He did not consult with or inform any municipal leadership in the communities and claims in the communities he placed surveillance systems in, and claims to be caught off guard by the apparent controversy his installation of Dragnet surveillance systems has caused, despite massive local and national controversy over these systems for the last couple of years. It drew a lot of public attention and condemnation in Lakewood when these systems were considered in February. At no time in the past 2 years could you Google the word Flock without immediately finding pages and pages of abuses, discovered misrepresentations by Flock, and cancellations after community action. To go around local municipalities and claim ignorance of a controversy is a claim that just doesn't hold water. I am calling on this body to order the cancellation of the county contract with Flock and to guarantee no future contracts with Flock or any other private surveillance companies. I have spoken with numerous constituents and have received overwhelming oppositions to these surveillance systems. I am more than happy to meet with any of you individually with the Public Safety Committee and can provide more information and sources for all of the claims and information that I'm bringing today. Our government is answerable to the people in the community, and Flock is not, and they have no business here or anywhere else.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, for the second privilege of the floor.
Good evening. My name is Christine Kruskeef. I'm speaking today as a trustee for the Village of Fredonia.
You're speaking for the trustees, or are you speaking for yourself?
I'm speaking as a trustee for the Village of Fredonia to
you.
raise serious concerns on behalf of the constituents I represent regarding the installation of Flock safety cameras in our village. As local elected officials, it is our duty to advocate for our community's privacy and transparency. Many of our residents have expressed deep concerns about mass surveillance and the scope of data being collected. Furthermore, these cameras were installed in Fredonia without the approval or input of our village board. From the limited public information available and discussions at our board meetings, we learned that this installation was authorized by the county district attorney. This raises several urgent questions that require clarification from this body. Did the district attorney make the decision to install these cameras unilaterally, or did the county legislature vote to approve them? Who ultimately determined the need for Flock cameras in Fredonia? What specific data is being collected by these cameras? Who has access to it? And how long is that data retained? What current and ongoing costs are associated with these cameras, and who is paying for them? Our residents deserve clear answers about how public space in our village is being monitored and governed. I ask that the county provide full transparency on this matter. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I just trying to determine how much time to allocate for your speaking.
I'm just here representing myself.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the second privilege of the floor?
Yes, Anthony Toda. I live at 144 Clifton Avenue in Jamestown, New York. I'm making my comments and opinions based on media reports and my own experiences. First, I'm stating again that Americans need to support Ukraine with military aid against Russia and voice that support to President Trump and our federal representatives. Second, evidence shows that the alleged top shooter, Peyton Gendron, publicly stated on the internet 2 days before the Tops Buffalo murders where he was going, and his alleged intent to kill black people. Mr. Gendron had been in communications with a former federal agent where extremism and radical hatred was discussed. Why didn't anyone who read Gendron's post contact law enforcement? Why wasn't the New York State red flag law utilized to prevent Gendron from accessing firearms? And why weren't Gendron's alleged internet threats not flagged by the FBI to prevent these murders? This is further evidence that federal and state law enforcement created an open pathway allegedly to commit murder. Sonia Zoglin, the federal public defender, continues to fail to examine any corroborating evidence I may offer to show that the FBI, including the Buffalo Field Office, should have prevented this crime, as the FBI should have prevented the Parkland school shootings in Florida. There was a $127 million payout by the federal government to the families of the victims of the Parkland school shootings. I can show in my experiences that the FBI is not credible in any court because of their open criminal assault, surveillance, and harassment upon myself. I can show with substantial evidence that the FBI is using media interception in their attempt to incite racial hatred in myself. Yet I wanted to produce possible corroborating evidence to mitigate and show FBI responsibility in federal court, but both Public Defender's Office and the U.S. Attorney's Office under Michael Giacomo have shut me off completely. Today, when I again called Sonia Zoglin, I was told that her voicemail wasn't working. Federal and state laws make it a crime to deliberately incite or coerce someone to commit a crime, as the FBI and the Jamestown police are attempting to do in my instance. I have substantial evidence that these government crimes, and I can corroborate illegal government behavior used upon myself in the Peyton Gendron death penalty trial in U.S. District Court, Buffalo. And I will show a shared responsibility and liability in the Tops murders. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the second privilege of the floor?
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman?
We have,
Withdrawn.
thank you. Please.
Hello, my name is Patrick Carl-Sexton. I live in Fredonia, New York. I'm here to repeat what everyone's saying about the flock cameras, and now we need to get them out of Chautauqua County. They are incredibly unjust. They're mass surveillance on us, and we have no control over data, where it's going, who's using it. A giant corporation is using it. We cannot trust giant corporations. We can trust our fire, our police, our government officials. Flock is not these people. Flock is a completely separate entity that is gathering massive amounts of information on all of us every day, who we spend time with, who we're talking to, what we're buying, where we're driving, when we're driving, and are also making immense amount of mistakes along the way. There have been plenty of cases where they are misreading license plates. There have been plenty of cases where they are not able to identify people correctly, and law enforcement is acting upon it. That's terrifying. I do not appreciate living in a state of fear. Please get rid of the flock cameras. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to address the second privilege of the floor?
Hi, my name is Mitchell Cummings from Fredonia, and I wasn't going to speak, but I'd just like to talk about two things. Back in 1970, my first run-in with the state troopers was I was cited on my bicycle for not having a light at night. I was with my friend. We were fishing up in Orchard Park and pedaling back home to West Seneca, and he had a light on his leg, and the trooper let him go, but I wound up having to pay 2 weeks of my paperboy salary to pay my fine for not having a light. And it was nice to see the sheriff here. And if I remember correctly, maybe 25, 30 years ago, there was a sheriff's program, maybe it was the troopers, that taught bicycle safety in Chautauqua County. Does anybody remember this? I think it might have been at the Bosse's down on the southern side of the lake, Asheville, Bosse's. And I'm wondering if, I live in Dunkirk and Fredonia, ninja bicyclist, insane. Black at nighttime, pretty crazy stuff. I think a lot of it needs education, and that maybe is something that the sheriff's department could possibly look into, putting somebody into schools, middle school, and then high school later program. E-bikes, man, they're a big,
you know, I was a truck driver for 12 years over the road, and I'm a big fan of complete streets and street safety for everybody. But man, education is really important for the bicycles. And about the flock cameras, I'm worried about infringement on First Amendment rights. We have a flock camera now in front of the Opera House Village Hall, and it overlooks the Barker Commons where a lot of people gather for protests and things like that. They say it's for reading, but when is it going to morph into possibly facial recognition? If anybody remembers what happened in China with the protesters in Hong Kong, and they all wore masks. There was a reason why they were masked, was because of facial recognition cameras in there, and also the Uyghurs in China were surveilled by facial recognition. So I worry about infringement of First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, and Fourth Amendment rights with the flock cameras. And it's very disturbing to me that what I'm hearing is that one person in the county, the DA, was responsible for doing this without information to our legislators or to our local elected officials. That's mind-boggling to me that somebody had that power to do that. And I hope that the legislature, you can all do something about that. Please do something about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for the second privilege of the floor? Legislator Larson.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion to adjourn and a second by Legislator Johnson. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And we're adjourned.